It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and Chris, the great Chris Sims, is just over here doing a car wash. He's just doing the all-city car wash, Chicago to Denver to Dallas.
We go way back, those cities, and this group here. And then I see Clarence, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta listen to Clarence and whatever he says. So
you're the first person to ever say that.
I know. For some reason, I like him. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I mean, we know there's a lot of things wrong with me.
Yeah, we actually mute him from time to time, so we don't even want to listen to him. You know?
That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time.
Of course.
Our broadcasts over the last month or two, watching the NFC East do so well, while the Dallas Cowboys did not do so well after an offseason where they didn't try their best, has certainly been interesting.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, how important is it for the Cowboys to not be the Cowboys this offseason?
No, I mean, it was a weird year. It really was. I mean, I think we all kind of saw deficiencies in the roster and areas you needed to improve before the year, and it was kind of strange to, the all-in comment and then not really go all in and do anything like that. Dragging the feet with the contract situations with CeeDee Lamb and Dak. I don't care what anybody says. They're distractions. They're issues for the football team. Damn, you got Micah Parsons, who just did a solid for the team and didn't do anything this year and be annoying, which I give him a lot of credit. I really do. Yeah. I mean, damn, because if I was him or advising him, I'd be like, don't go on the field this year. Yeah. You're the best defensive player in football, and until they pay you that way, don't go out. So that was amazing. But, yeah, I mean, obviously some things got to change there in Dallas. Obviously. I mean, just right down to what we saw just last week. It's weird. I've been around the NFL my whole life. I'm obsessed. Clarence knows I got friends in high places all around the league. Everybody is like, what is going on in Dallas? What are they doing? Right? I mean, we block McCarthy from taking an interview with Chicago, acting like we want him, and then we have a conversation with him, and then we decide we don't want each other. And then it's kind of just like throw a dart at the board. Well, I don't know who to get, so I feel like I can control Brian Schottenheimer, so let me hire him. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying that's what it is, but, yeah, it's some weird signals coming out of Dallas right now.
Yeah, you brought up your friends around the league. What's your opinion, and what is everyone's opinion of Brian Schottenheimer? Guy, again, was a young, up-and-coming offensive coordinator, sort of the son of Marty.
Right.
But no one was trying to give him a job to even call plays.
Exactly. He's got respect. He's got my respect. There's a lot that I like about him, but am I wowed by him? Do I look at him and go, man, that's definitely one of the best offenses in football, and what he does, like I look at it and go, whoa, that's cool. How did he do that? What are they trying to attack here, right? There's certain guys in football, Shanahan, McVay, O'Connell, Ben Johnson, Mike McDaniel, Sean Payton, right? You watch their offenses, and if we sat down and watched film, 10 plays in, I'd go, look at this. Look how cool this is. Look how they did this play and kind of dangled it in front of you, and then a few plays later, they kind of showed you the same thing and pulled the old okey doke and did something else, right? There's things that you get trained to see within good offenses, and like he's got all the meat and potatoes and the basics, but if I sit here and go, man, it's next level, not exactly, and I would say that's kind of probably the thought around the league about him.
Yeah, one thing that Steven and Jerry Jones are kind of pushing in that regard is like, hey, he's been a seasoned veteran as an assistant. He's seen a lot of things. He's been able to study a lot. Obviously didn't call plays the last 2 years. Is there any hope for Cowboys fans that maybe could be, you talk about these motions, these things like the okey dokes. Is there maybe an opportunity that Brian Schottenheimer has kind of taken a step back and then can utilize it?
I hope so. I hope that's the case. I like Brian a lot, so I don't feel good, sometimes. I'm trying not to put his offense in a negative light because I don't want to put it in a negative light. I'm just telling you I'm not wowed by it, right? And I'm hoping, and we see this, right, because I'll tell you with Dan Quinn, like, he made adjustments in his year off between getting fired to Atlanta and going to Dallas, and I went, damn, Dan's got some new tricks up his sleeve on the defensive side of the ball. I like it. So I hope that is the case. And, yes, that does happen. You get around a few different coaching staffs. See, what happens, and I think one of the problems with the offensive coordinator thing in the NFL is it's like offensive coordinator who failed at first place, right? He goes somewhere else, but he stays in the same coaching tree, and then they hire him again somewhere else, and you're like, wait, he stunk at the last place. He's learning from the same guys he learned before, but we're going to give him another shot?
No doubt.
Why? So, yes, your ability to learn from other people and pull ideas. I was with John Gruden for 6 years. I learned a ton of football. I got with Josh McDaniels. I learned stuff where I was like, whoa, Gruden didn't teach me this.
Right.
Damn, that's how Brady and you guys got this guy open all the time. I never learned that part of the play or that nuance. That's amazing. I hope that is the case for Brian Schottenheimer.
Is it weird to you, or is this just too far outside the box for football somehow. Like, I feel like if I were a coach, I would just tell my guys, look, what we're going to do every week is we watch college football, we watch NFL football. You see something you like, bring it. We're going to watch it. We're running it. Like,
there's
we're stealing
nothing
all
to
these
take from college football. There's nothing. There's college football is like 7 plays right now. They've done a disservice to the NFL.
Move
game.
the hashes wider, go 5 wide.
Let
and
me
get
all
the
look at the sideline so my coach can tell me what to do. I don't know how to listen to the huddle. We only run 5 plays because the whole theme of college football now is just spread everybody out and let our athletes make plays.
Yeah,
right.
You can't deal with my quarterback, and my far side slot has 100 yards to work with.
So that drives me crazy. So
what I mean is when we talk about a coaching hire and then everybody talks about here's what he runs.
Right.
To me, that is gross.
Yeah.
When it's like, hey, we hired a defensive coordinator and here's what he does.
Right.
Shouldn't what I do be we gather the best players we can and I figure out how to maximize you guys and I know how to do everything that he wants to run and he wants to run and he wants to run. Like, not I run this.
Agreed. 100%.
I coach football.
I mean, do you think Bill Belichick was just like, I'm going to do it this way? Or did we go every week, we go, holy crap, it's a different game plan. It's a different, what are they doing? This isn't the same team we watched last week, right?
Right.
I mean, of course. That's a huge part of the game. And then, well, you guys know this. Coaches are conservative by nature. Mm-hmm. They're mostly very conservative guys. Like most of them that I've come around in my life, it's like, well, I never had anybody teach me that play. Right?
Where it used to be aggressive was weird, and weird gets you fired when it doesn't work.
Right. But like the really good play callers and some of the ones I mentioned before, they're not afraid to like go, I've never seen this play before, but I kind of see this defense doing this, so I'm going to invent something I want to do. Right? Or like I'm smart enough, I've never learned this play, but to your point, I'm watching film of the 49ers, and I don't know exactly how Shanahan's teaching this, but I think I can make it close and use this in our game plan this week.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, that to me is what should be going on, and that is what's going on with the top guys.
Right.
But unfortunately, there's a group that's kind of just stuck in their old ways, and they're pigeonholed into what they know, and they've never learned anything else, and it kind of shows in the offense to what you're saying.
One thing that's gotten Cowboy fans excited was the addition of Clayton Adams, the Cardinals offensive line coach and be the running game coordinator. What do you think of him and what he's done, and can that make a difference? And how much did the fact that Kyler Murray was a running quarterback impact what they're doing? That's not what Dak does now.
No, it helped them a little bit, but like Arizona can run the ball straight up, smash mouth, good creative ideas. That to me is a positive thing. For sure. And that's where, like, if there was one element that I liked of Schotty back in the day when he was calling plays and do that, his run game had a little creativity to it. It did. Now, hopefully he can match some play-action pass off of it, and the pass game can become creative too. But I kind of, like, on my podcast and stuff, wax poetically about that Arizona offensive line and their physicality and what they do kind of all year long. It was kind of one of the under-the-radar things of the league. James Conner was damn good all year long. Kyler hurts it. I mean, helps it, no doubt about it. But I think it's legit in what they do and what he does.
And that's not a line that has like 4 Pro Bowlers and first-round picks. I mean, he's made do with a line of guys.
Definitely. I mean, most people on the street, I don't think could name like offensive linemen over there in Arizona.
No doubt.
And you guys got more talent than that. It might not be the Cowboys of 2016 in that offensive line, but it's still pretty damn good, and you should be able to move some people.
Chris, our friend Clarence has started covering the Cowboys in '97, so we've kind of developed this thing that Clarence might be the problem with why they haven't gone back to the NFC title game. One, do you buy credence into that? And two, just how crazy is it the fact that they now have the longest drought?
It's crazy. I mean, especially since when I grew up, and it's the Cowboys. What? I mean, whether it was was born in '80s. Right, I was born in '80, and through the '80s, they were good, not great, but I knew how great they were in the '70s.
Right.
And then, of course, when I was 12 years old, my dad will tell you the best team he ever played against is the '92 Cowboys, right? So I got to see that. And when my dad got cut by the Giants after the '93 season, I was a Cowboys fan because Troy Aikman was my favorite quarterback. He took over as my dad from my dad as the guy. But it's shocking. Yeah. I mean, shocking. I mean, it's the freaking Cowboys. It's all of that. But
did that hurt? Did that hurt your dad?
No, I don't think it did, because I think my dad, first off, had so much. Jimmy Johnson was like a Bill Parcells-ish type of guy, so my dad loved that about him. And then Troy was very similar to my dad. Stand in there, pat the ball. I'm going to throw the ball down the field and probably get crushed and deal with it. But so what? I'm tough as hell. And I think my dad loved Troy's game too. But Yeah, man, it's crazy. And I do think like what Troy Aikman said a few weeks ago is real. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been a coach empowered there totally since Jimmy Johnson. There's a little too much meddling from the ownership. And I do think that affects your football team. And I don't really know a team in football that's really successful that has an owner that's doing that to that extent.
Well, and I think the other thing that's incredibly important for the Cowboys, because they haven't been on a great run of drafting, which normally they are good at, and then not adding from the outside, et cetera,
right,
is so much is going to be asked of and expected of. And if you can't do it, we're dead in the water on Dak. And he didn't play his best football this year, and it looked kind of wonky, and then he got hurt.
Right.
How much do you believe in his ability to still be? I mean, he was a year removed from being an All-Pro.
Yeah.
To still be a guy that kicks ass and takes names.
I mean, listen, I'm a big Dak fan. I always have been. I mean, and now is Dak Joe Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, or Josh Allen? No. I mean, those four stand alone. There's nobody close to them in football right now. Different level, right? But when you get to that next group of guys, I think it's fair that Dak Prescott's in that conversation. And I think Dak Prescott's better than the public gives him credit for. A little bit of the Dallas and people wanting to crap and hate on Dallas all the time kind of adds to the negativity around him. But damn, throwing the ball down the field, standing in the pocket, pretty damn good decision maker, an aggressive decision maker. Like, to me, it goes back a little bit more to you can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. You can win a Super Bowl. It's just the offense has got to help him out a little bit. My old saying is like what I say this a lot about like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. When you're around shit, you're going to start to stink like it. It's going to get on you, and you're going to be shitty. Right. I don't care who you are. And you got to have some people around. Look at Saquon Barkley. Yeah. Is he even that good? I'm not sure on the Giants. Oh, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer on the Eagles. Right, right. You got to have somebody. And I don't think he's always been properly helped with offensive scheme and creativity that way. And we got to have one more receiver than just throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb every play. I mean, it's going to work against the poor of the NFL, the middle class. But when we get to the good teams, they're not going to just let CeeDee Lamb go, he gets the ball every play. Yeah. Like, we got to do a little more than just give one guy the ball to appease his contract and make us all feel good. And that would be another issue that falls into Dak, and it shouldn't fall into Dak.
We have to add that receiver after we add a starting running back, two starting linebackers, a starting corner.
What do we think? Where's Demarion? Like, how long they think he's going to be out?
Overshawn?
Yeah. Because, I mean, I'm of course, a Texas guy. I've always had my eye on him. I love them come out in the draft.
Mid-season next year.
Yeah, I know. Damn, that hurt me when he got hurt at the end of the year. That really
Electric,
did.
Huh?
I mean, he's one of those guys where, when I would watch Texas football, I'd go, man, I don't know who that guy is there, but he flies around the field. He might be a little raw and undisciplined, but his athleticism shows.
Well, since you brought up Texas, I'll be remiss not to ask you about Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Are the Cowboys tanking for Arch? Is that what's happening?
2-year tank.
Arch is, you better be a 2-year tank. Because I don't think Arch is just going to come after 1 year.
No, he's going to stay 2 years. Right. But just the pressure. I mean, obviously, you're the former son of a quarterback and going to Texas. And just what he's having to deal with and what type of player you think
it's a lot. It is a lot. I don't even know if I was as well equipped as I thought I was when I got there, right? I mean, the University of Texas is rare in that when you're the quarterback there, you're a professional quarterback. The attention, the spotlight is on you. I've covered Notre Dame for NBC and do that. I'm just telling you, I don't know if anybody's more scrutinized than the quarterback at Texas. It's up there with anybody. So you have to learn that, right? I had to deal with, some haters too because I was a Yankee and people didn't like that I was a quarterback.
And they made a deal before and you're going to be the starter.
Right.
When they signed you, made a deal.
I wish we made a deal.
Damn. But that's the rumor. That was the narrative.
I know. You're right. There was all these weird rumors out there, and there was nothing like that. I mean, nothing at all. I like Texas, and I wanted to go there. My visit was great, and I felt like we were about to be on the rise again, and I was like, I want to be a part of that, right? So that's why I went there. I wish it was a deal. I wish it was an NIL deal. And I'd been like, damn, yep, I'm the starter. Eat it. I'm playing.
No, you can't say that.
I know. But either way, Arch, like from people I know down there, the team's already his. It's been his. They love Arch. They like Quinn, don't get me wrong. But from everything I know is that Arch is like the guy. And, of course, the talent Sarkisian, I think he's going to be able to do more with Arch, not only because of his running ability, he's a better thrower than Quinn Ewers, and he's I think going to be a better decision maker from everything I hear too, to where they'll be able to add more offense on the field, right? So I'm pumped. We're back, baby. They messed up with this. They messed up with this NIL thing.
There you go.
They did.
We have money.
They have messed up because first off, the SEC's already mad, right? Because they're in trouble. The SEC's in trouble, and nobody's got more money than Texas and Notre Dame and Michigan. You're going to see the same 3 or 4 teams over and over. I hope they better dig up some more oil down there.
Phil Knight. He's an Oregon guy. Oh, he's an Oregon guy.
He's an Oregon guy. But you got that Nike money. But that's where I feel like we're sitting pretty too.
And you brought up Arch being able to run. I know we got to go, but the running mobile quarterback, is that the future?
Well, it's not the future, but you got to do it a little bit.
Right.
I still think the game is about we're watching the greatest running quarterback in the history of the game. He can't get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson.
Right.
He can't.
But Patrick Mahomes is mobile, though. Like,
He's
they
mobile.
ran the quarterback sweep to get him to beat Buffalo. I mean, you still have to be able to run.
Definitely. 2025, with the way the teams are, the defenses, the linebackers are so freaky, everything. The D linemen are growing on trees. There's not enough good old linemen to go around. Right? Yes, the quarterback moving is huge, let alone, hey, I can't call the perfect pass play every play, so you got to be able to scramble and avoid some bad plays for me. But it's the ones that have the balance. Like, that's why Mahomes is who he is and Lamar is who he is and Burrow, because they can move, but they're still looking to throw and dice you up that way, and they only move when they have to.
The great Chris Sims, PFT Live, NBC Sports.
Yeah,
Anything
Chris
you need
Sims
to pimp out a little bit?
is my pod, right? That's my big pod, right?
Oh,
so
let's go.
Chris Sims Unbuttoned, right? Where, I mean, I don't unbutton my shirt, but my mouth is always unbuttoned. So that's where it is, right?
You got takes.
Yeah.
That's
well, I don't know if it's. I don't like that word, right?
Takes.
I get takes. Like, people got on me all year. I got shit on the draft last year because I was like, the 2 LSU receivers are better than Marvin Harrison Jr. And you're just a hot take artist. No, I like being right. Screw yourself. and I was right. So screw off. Bar.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Chris.
Guys,
You're a beast. We
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate it.
Coming up next, Clarence Hill did get in a fight with Ian Rappaport, and he got in trouble with the police on Bourbon Street. Yeah, and
they were
then he
come to blows.
And then he had beef on Bourbon Street with a police horse. We got stuff to get into next.
Play for the Cowboys in the 90s?
DLLS Cowboys podcast.